Hi, my message to you today is do not be COVID phobic. COVID phobia is paralyzing people. It's paralyzing people's minds and their ability to think critically. And that's exactly what the government and the media complex want. Because the more you're paralyzed through fear, the more they can control you and the more they can pursue their agenda, their authoritarian agenda. Now, when this COVID thing first started, we all didn't have so much information. None of us really knew how bad or what was going on. And I remember I was also extremely fanatic about the restrictions. But then it didn't make sense to me so much anymore. And I remembered that there was a sales guru in America who once said that fear, F-E-A-R, is also false evidence appearing real. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't things in life to be afraid of. Sure, there's lots of things. I mean, you'd be kind of silly to not be afraid of an oncoming bus and just walk in front of it, or to not be afraid of a tsunami and just lie on the beach while it's arriving. Nobody does that if they're sane. But then there are the other fears, the nightmares, the shadows, the boogeyman, and that's exactly what the government depends on using against us in order to restrict us. Now, we know that COVID is a virus, and we know that it has actually definitely made a few people maybe a lot of people very sick, and even people die. But which people? I mean, for the most of us, it's just another flu. And we make risk assessments all the time. I mean, 1,200 people died in Australia last year from car accidents. But you still drive a car, don't you? People go on cruises, don't they? Even though you're in an enclosed place and you can maybe, trip and fall off the boat and drown. But people do it. Why? Because we want to be free people. We want to live our lives. We make these risk assessments all the time. We're not children. We think for ourselves and we decide what it is that we're willing to risk. The same with this. In governments like Sweden, where they treat people as mature people and they offer them the information that they can decide for themselves whether or not they want to engage in certain activities. But those are free people. Now, what we should be afraid of is the encroaching authoritarianism and the loss of our freedoms. That's actually something we should fear, because that will affect us and our children and our quality of life, socially, economically, in every way. And we should fear the lies that the media is telling us. The facts are that when you do a risk assessment, you'll see more people died from the lockdown than they did from the virus. But of course, the government can't let us know these things because they have to keep revving up the temperature of the fear. If they let the fear go down, then people will decide to just live free. So my message today is fear can be a very empowering or a very restricting emotion. And we have to decide what we're afraid of. And when we decide that we are adults and that we can take chances and that we can think critically, then we become empowered and free people. And you know who really should be afraid? The Andrews government should be afraid, because we are coming. Thank you.